Welcome back to Mike It Loud podcast. I'm Brittany Racine, and we are going into a second week of these solo episodes. They're kind of sprinkled in between some of the guests that I have. So we are talking about confidence today, and I'm going to just break it down for you in the realest way that I possibly can, because I think that people really categorize confidence as a very black and white thing. Either you have it or you don't, but it's actually, it's so much more complicated than that. So I want to break down confidence. I'm going to get real with you today and talk about things that I am super insecure with and I feel like I have no confidence in. So I'm going to break down my personal struggles with confidence and things that I do daily to practice confidence, to build confidence, and really kind of just explain that confidence is such a beast of its own. All right, first of all, I want to talk about, I don't know why I have a pen, but maybe I'm going to do something while we're here. Okay, first of all, I want to talk about myths of confidence, just because I think we have these pre-existing thoughts in our brain about what confidence even is. Probably the majority of them are actually not even real. I think that people assume that you're either born confident or you're not, and it's just black and white like that, and that is not true at all. Another myth I think that really boxes people in is thinking that confidence comes before starting. And that idea itself is just like paralyzing because you never really feel ready, do you, for anything? If you're trying to step outside your box and grow or do something that scares the shit out of you, it's almost worse if you over rehearse it and you overanalyze it. It's like you're putting it off, you're slowing yourself down, you're creating a literal mental illness about it instead of just starting. One of the books that I read early last year was called Be Seen by Jen Gottlieb. I know you guys are sick of me talking about books, but she said start before you're ready, and it like changed everything about my business, like my branding, my career, everything. Starting before you're ready was like a game changer for me. And obviously I had no confidence in the beginning. I'm like, what the hell am I doing? Everybody's gonna think I'm stupid. Let's go through my phone right now and just analyze all the things that you guys have seen on my page. And I will tell you how non-confident I was during these things. Okay. First of all, the solo podcast. I'm like, nobody cares what I'm talking about. I feel like I have all these thoughts in my head and all these realizations in my head. And it's like, I'm such a deep thinker. And then when I go to say them, like it never comes out right. And I just feel like I just talked in a circle and nobody cares what I'm thinking about or even makes sense. So I was super not confident the first time I did this, which was what, 2 or 3 episodes ago. And I had so many people reach out. Thank you for everybody who validated me on that because I was like, nobody cares what I'm talking about. And I think that a lot of times too, like even in the episode that I did 2 weeks ago with Anthony, we're talking about our trips to Mexico and Italy and whatever. I'm like, are these boring? Like, are these stories boring? And I had so many people text me and be like, these stories are so hilarious. I love them. But to me, it's like, we lived those and we've told those stories so many times. So are they even interesting anymore? I don't know. So I feel like we have this voice in our head that's constantly going to tell you you're not good at it. So that's like one of the biggest things that I think you have to tackle. I'm getting ahead of myself though. So starting before you're ready. Okay, let's pick apart my stuff. I'm naturally an extrovert. So I think that it does come easier to me to put myself in social situations that I think a lot of people are very not confident. Is it not confident, incompetent, non-confident, insecure? What is it? I don't even know what the word is for it. I'm less anxiety in social situations than people who are introverts for sure. But I still a lot of times am like, ew, this is awkward. What am I doing here? Right off the bat, when I started making real estate videos, when I'm telling you, I'm telling you something that's like unscripted, like we're talking about buyers or sellers or trends or whatever's going on, zero confidence in that. I started doing those and I was like, I'm the biggest douchebag I've ever seen. I'm literally going to throw up right now. I'm not posting this. And if I do, I'm probably going to delete it 5 seconds later. And now it's definitely gotten easier to me. I still feel like a douche all the time, but it works. So who cares? So I think it's like practicing that has made the confidence build, which I'm going to get into the steps after this. I'm just going to give you right off the bat here what things I felt like the biggest dumbass doing. Any of those videos where I am facing the camera and talking about real estate, anything that I'm talking about. If I'm not telling a story while I'm walking through the house and just like throwing it on my story, I feel like a moron. And it's like the imposter syndrome that everybody has. So those videos off the bat, zero confidence in starting out. Now I would say I'm more confident in them, but I think I also just care less. So I started doing those before I was ready. That was one of the first things that I started before ready, right? Then the more I was doing those, like other opportunities were coming to me. And a lot of those opportunities, I also was not confident in. When I was contacted by ADTV to do the TV show for the real estate, again, I was like, okay, I think I could be good at this, but I don't know, like, how am I getting this out there? So when I originally put out that video saying that that's what we were doing, felt absolutely no confidence. First of all, I was trying to make sure that I was saying it right, right? So I think in general, just videos with speaking that are going to go on social media, marketing your business, marketing whatever it is that you're doing. There are very few people in the world that start that with confidence. I want to talk about networking situations because I think a lot of us go to like these networking events or conventions where you're like, cool, I know 2 people in this room, or I don't know anybody. There's always like a level of discomfort in that no matter who you are. So you're not alone. But I think a lot of people are like, well, that's just not for me. Like, I can't do it. And it's like, you can do it, but you have to also realize that everybody that you're in the room with feels the exact same way. And even if they are better at masking it than you think you are, you're also probably better at it than you realize. I do think one thing that comes with confidence is kind of faking it until you make it. Where like you practice it and you slowly kind of just convince yourself that you're not as insecure about it or uncomfortable with it as you originally thought. So like I don't know if it necessarily ever really fully goes away. There's no way that it does, right? It's a practice. The more you do it, the better you're going to feel about it. And it's going to be, it's something that's like multiple times a day. It's not like, okay, today I'm going to practice that. It's multiple times a day that you have to really hone in and be super aware and intentional about what it is that you're practicing and why you're practicing it. I think another myth is doubting yourself means that you don't have confidence. And I just think that that's completely untrue. Nobody is consistently like, you never have the same consistent thoughts. Like, there's definitely days where you're like, oh, I'm going to crush this. And there's other days that you're like, what am I even doing? But everybody goes through that. That does not mean that you lack confidence. That just means that you're human. So don't beat yourself up out of that, or you're never even going to start whatever it is that you're trying to start. One more myth, and it's that confident people have everything figured out. And again, that's just not true. I mean, there's situations where I know I don't have it figured out, but I still am comfortable because I'm confident that I'm going to figure it out, or I'm going to, even though I don't necessarily know exactly what the outcome of this is going to be, I know that I'm going to be put in a room with somebody who's going to be able to help me as long as I'm honest with myself and confident enough to push the boundaries to get to where I need to go. And this goes for anybody. I do want to point out that there's so many people in the world who like are the definition of confidence. And they didn't start out that way either. Like, look at Beyonce. She had to literally create an alter ego to get her ass out on stage and do her thing that she's freaking amazing at, right? Like, do you think she just like sang one time in her church and everybody was like, oh my gosh, call of producers, it's time? Like, no, she probably felt like a total ass so many times. And then we all loved her. And there's so many people like that. Like, you think of whoever it is that you look up to and you think just has it right. Like, look them up, see what they've failed. Like, there is so much more. Like, we think everybody had this, crazy overnight success, whether it's TikTokers or music people or brands, whatever it is. It was like an overnight success thing. And it's like, we only noticed them overnight, but there were years of, I'm sure, fail and doubt and embarrassment that went on before that. They were not an overnight success. And I love that with the internet and with AI, we can look that up now because I think it's so important to really see how persistent these people really were. Like, they were just not quitters. Okay, so how to build confidence. I'm going to use social media as an example because I feel like that is the easiest place for us to either grow or do nothing with, all because of confidence. But I mean, again, take this to social situations or, clients and stuff like that. It's like you can use it anywhere, but I think social media is going to be the easiest example for me to use it. So, number one in building confidence is going to be starting before you're ready. Like I said, because you will overanalyze yourself into paralysis. I'm not even kidding. Now, going into that, I think for me, it has been much more helpful to have other people who have like-minded goals on the same page as you, because then when you're feeling, imposter syndrome or insecure or uncomfortable with whatever it is, like, you have those people who are going to say, like, do it anyway, and it doesn't look as stupid as you think. The last thing you want to do in this situation is go to the people who would never do this because they are going to scare the shit out of you. Those people in general, like, you're here to grow right now. You're listening to this because you want to grow or build in some way yourself or your business and career. Those people just need to go like so far in the back burner that you honestly just forget about them for a while, because they are not going to do anything good for you in this era of your life where you are trying to level up yourself. You're trying to improve yourself. You're looking for positivity. You're looking for growth and success. Someone that's just going to Karen everybody and is too afraid to do those things, like, I'm not saying cut them out of your life entirely, but like definitely don't go to them for ideas or feedback right now. If you're doing social media, you're trying to brand yourself or, put yourself out there more on social media. You don't want to talk to people who are going to judge you. So this is your time to really stack up those yes girl people and just run with them for a bit. And not that I'm going to tell you what you want to hear type of girl, but in situations like this, if you are starting out, you need to surround yourself with those people right now, okay? Because until you get over the initial I'm terrified of everything or I can't, you need that audience real quick. You need them at your fingertips. Like that is what they are for. Short term hype girls, okay? There's actually a lot of them too. You can find them all over the place. Another thing that is great in building confidence is going to be affirmations, which this is weird because in that episode that I was talking with Anthony and Andy on, we were talking about love languages. And my love language, 1000% used to be words of affirmation. Like I'm like, please compliment me, validate me, tell me everything I'm doing is right. That was where my confidence I feel like was in. Like if someone's not telling me I'm doing good, then I must not be doing good. That's probably my last love language at this point because I feel like I spent 2 years really restructuring my brain through audiobooks and podcasts and, different meditations, which I never did before. And it's like once you learn the affirmations and like self talk and mindset and how powerful that is, I didn't even really need it from anybody else. So I think that if you're starting to try to build confidence, you got to get in with those affirmations. Most of the situations in your life, you're really alone. Like, yeah, you have the support of your friends, your family, your spouse, your kids, whoever it is that are going to cheer you on through things. But like, you're not their number one priority to build up and, focus on that. So you're the only one that's going to have the vision of where it is that you want to go. So if you don't support yourself, like you're not going to be able to put yourself in those positions. So I think the affirmations are amazing. And it's those for sure are a fake it till you make it thing. Like you have to just basically lie to yourself until you believe them, depending on what they are. Maybe you actually have good self-esteem. You just don't have confidence. But I feel like confidence and self-esteem kind of go hand in hand. So like there's definitely some things that I would have self-talked myself out of. But it was like I had to tell myself, I am smart enough for this or I am good enough for this. Like those were two for me that was like, I'm never going to know how to do that. I'm never going to figure that out. Like I'm not good enough for that or I'm not smart enough for that. And it was like retraining your brain how to do those affirmations. Let me throw a few affirmations at you right now that you can just kind of marinate on. This one is super simple, but just I am capable. That you can apply that into anything. If you're ever feeling like there's no way I can do that, I don't know how to do that. I am capable, I think is amazing because you are capable of learning. You are capable of trying. You are capable of trying again if it doesn't work. Like you are capable of changing the direction of something if it doesn't work out as planned. Like you are capable of success. There's so many different things. I love I am capable. So anything like that, like just positive self-affirmations, you can do, there's millions of them on YouTube. You could do guided meditations, any of those if you really like need to hone into it and figure out what the heck even is affirmation. So I think that those are great. And even like the manifesting ones, like if you're talking manifesting wise, which maybe I'll do one of these in like the little solo series on just like basic manifesting. I love the affirmation that there's more than enough to go around because I think a lot of times people think, oh, well, that person's already doing that. Or there's 1 bajillion realtors out there. Like there's not enough room for me. There's not enough money for me, whatever it is. There's more than enough to go around. I love that one when you're talking manifestation. Get those affirmations down. And again, those are just like, those are thoughts. Those are things that you could have 1 million of a day and just constantly repeat. So I think a lot of times when your mind starts to get filled with that doubt, you got to throw one of those affirmations at it and kind of just block it out of your head. So moving on to the next thing, I think one thing that really held me back a lot was just thinking that I was going to be judged for a lot of it. I think that's a huge for everybody that's in any type of way on social media or really anywhere. Like they don't want to be judged for what they're wearing, what they sound like. My editing is dog shit. Like somebody thinks that I stole this from somebody else or whatever it is. And it's like the realization of knowing like nobody really cares that much. For the most part, if somebody is judging you, like they are moving on to the next thing before, like they're over it before you're over it. So I think it's like just realizing even if you do fall on your face or something is totally an epic disaster, no one cares that long. So you got to get over those. You got to get over that and you got to make yourself get over it. So make an affirmation about nobody remembers this and just start telling yourself that like that's over. We're not doing it anymore. And you have to constantly weave that into your self talk that like if something doesn't work out, nobody's even going to remember it. Like you're really the only one that's putting that on repeat in your head for the most part. I mean, unless it's like Fergie singing the national anthem, which I still think about every time I go to a sporting event. But honestly, like, go furry. I love that. But you're really, are you even doing anything that's remotely similar to that? No. So you got to just get over yourself and realize that nobody cares that much. So recapping real quick, I think practice is going to be the biggest thing for you. Affirmations are great to start with. Definitely cutting out any of the negative self-talk, like the judgment things. We are hyper focused on everything that could go wrong, and we gotta retrain our brain on that. So it's like you're not gonna feel confident if you're constantly focused on everything that you're not gonna do right. Um, say your friend was gonna go meet a client and was super nervous. You would be telling your friend, like, oh my God, you're so good at this. Like, don't even worry about that. They're going to love that. You're super smart with this. Like, just like, what is there not to love? Right. We tell other people that. And then we tell ourselves, like, oh my gosh, like, I'm not going to be good at that. Whoever they interviewed before me is probably way better than me. What if I like screw this up? What if they ask me this question? I don't know the answer to it. Like, we do the opposite to ourselves than we do to someone that we support. So we have to figure out how to be our biggest supporter, really. Like, you're not going to send your kid out onto the football field when he's up against like huge people and he's little and be like, I hope you make it. Like, that's not what you say. So it's like, why do we say to our kid, like, oh my gosh, you're so brave. I'm so proud of you. You're going to do amazing. Da, da, da. And then we tell ourselves, like, this is not going to go well. They're going to judge me. I'm going to feel like an idiot. I'm going to go hide in a hole after this and my life's over. Like, we have to tell ourselves what we would tell people that we support. It is such a weird transition of like, at least for me, maybe you didn't hate yourself as much as I apparently did. I don't really know. But it was such a weird transition for me. It's like you have to rewire your self-talk, and that is the voice that you hear more than anything in your whole life is going to be the voice in your head. So retraining where that's coming from, practicing something every single day. So putting yourself in a situation that you don't really want to do or makes you slightly uncomfortable and just doing it anyway every day is going to just like kind of break down that barrier of being overly concerned and just like super anxiety ridden. So I think trying one thing a day that is going to put you out of your comfort zone a little bit, but help you build your confidence. I'm not saying like go on stage tomorrow and give a monologue, but like baby steps every single day to just practice that so that it stays a little bit worked in. Cut out the haters, find your hype people, practice every single day, getting out of your comfort zone. And it can just be small ones. They don't have to be like when I did that public speaking thing, that was like the most terrifying thing I've ever done. But like, I'm not saying do that every day. If you have an opportunity like that every day, I mean, do it because something's got to come from it. At least rewiring your brain to not think of the worst things about yourself and thinking of positive things about yourself, which like you might be in a position where you're like, I can't even think of one thing that I'm like confident in or one thing that I think I'm good at. Then you need to have like a full on either one-on-one with me or full manifestation session of being like, who am I and what do I want to be? Because you got to start there then if you got to break down that far. I got my word of the year, which we talked about back in the goals. I got my word of the year this year, and I think it really goes kind of along with this topic. My word this year is progress, which I feel like is not like I really wanted it to be like a powerful word. I wanted it to be more powerful than the word progress. Like it sounds kind of like a wah, wah, right? But for me, I think I overly judge myself and I'm like, I need to be here. But like, why is like this part taking so long to get to where that is? And it's like, there is so much happening in like the progress phase of building confidence or of growth or of success or whatever it is that you're trying to do. And just knowing that progress is so much better than stagnant. So even if you have those days where you're, down on yourself and discouraged and you don't feel confident, it's like you're still progressing. So even if you're doing 1%, give yourself a party for that 1%, okay? The progress seems lame while you're in it, but then when you turn around and look at it in the rearview mirror, you're like, whoa, that is progress. And confidence is not a linear thing. It's like, you take a couple steps up and then like, oh, that was not, then you get hit with something, right? So it's like a stock graph where you're going up and down a lot. And it's going to be like that forever. You're never going to be confidence here. And then at the end, you're mastered, you're up here. There's going to be things along the way, but it's like practicing that and building that. It's like working out a muscle. So I'd say those are probably my most practical steps to build confidence. But I mean, there are some quick, if you need like a 911, I need some confidence real quick. Number one, spray tan. Go get a spray tan. You're pale. You look like you're dying. You're a corpse. You're going to feel 1,000 times better. Two, get dressed and like put your face and hair up, right? Like on days where I'm slothing around the house, I'm obviously not as confident. Actually, like those are my favorite. But if I have to do something where I need to feel confident, the last thing I want to do is be looking like Adam Sandler. So get a spray tan, put yourself together. You're going to immediately feel better about yourself. Call your friend that's your hype person. Say, you know what? I just need give me 3 whole minutes of just hype me up, right? And the fourth thing I would say is do a meditation or manifestation, even if it's 5 minutes long. It will clear your headspace. It's going to help you just flush out the negative vibes, flush that nasty energy out, and kind of reset so that you're able to set better intentions and restart whatever it is that you're working on. I think confidence is such a heavy feeling too, where if you don't have it, it can absolutely destroy and derail everything that you're trying to do. But if you do, it can slingshot you to the next level quickly. I hope you found that this was helpful. I hope that you are able to reflect on where it is that you need to push yourself to the next level, push yourself out of your comfort zone, or even just reassess who do I not want in my front row and who do I need in my front row? Again, going into 2026, I am going to bring on a few coaching clients or mentoring clients. So if this was something that you were like, I need that along with the goals or whatever it is, this is just one topic. Because obviously if I know exactly what it is that you're struggling with or what it is that you're trying to do, it's way easier for my creative. That's when my creative brain explodes and gets so excited. But it is hard when I'm just looking at a camera and imagining people of so many different demographics and careers and goals that it's how do you really package that down into something that's going to fit for everybody's. It was fun getting real today. I have a ton of other awesome guests that are on the schedule right now. If you think of someone that has either a crazy story, or it doesn't even have to be crazy, just a story they want to get out or a business they want to promote and discuss on the podcast, please also send me a DM because I am still building out and I'm kind of open to everything. Send me your ideas, send me your feedback, send these to your hype girls, send these to the people who are wanting to grow also. Again, I'm Brittany Racine and we'll see you next week on Mike It Loud.